Survival horror game Poppy Playtime recently launched, but the game was bogged down by glitches, and fans are less than happy. Chapter 2 dropped on May 5th, but so far has been riddled with game-breaking bugs, which coupled with the game's price has meant mixed reviews at best for the first-person puzzle solver. Today we're explaining Poppy Playtime 2's controversies, plus other gaming bits and pieces, so stay with us. First up, let's get into those bug issues. Fans have lamented Poppy Playtime Chapter 2 for some of the most basic issues. They feel as though they can't get the full immersive experience thanks to the game's frame rate constantly dropping thanks to annoying lag spikes. Of course, there is no reason for lag spikes to be affecting a game that should have gone through beta testing, suggesting there is a bigger worry at play here. Sometimes the game doesn't even open, which has forced some of its players to demand a refund. I mean, imagine paying for a game that won't even open. Absurd. But that is by no way the only problem. The berry glitch is one of the first things you might encounter should you be lucky enough to get the game to open. Those who manage to get to that point will recognize berry as the toy cart gamers must use to break through to a pathway which is blocked off by pieces of wood. Berry often gets stuck in one of the gates on the way to the blocked path, meaning it cannot move forward. Super frustrating. Another annoying bug causes the audio to inexplicably go off as soon as a player dies, but MOB games have addressed these issues. But there are more. Occasionally the grab pack hand controls don't work properly, as well as the TV screens which play the VHS tapes often failing to even show what they're supposed to, sometimes showing only a blank screen. Have you guys noticed any more glitches? More criticism now with the first game's price. Stay tuned. Many people have suggested that Poppy Playtime Chapter 2's bug issues could potentially be expected, and once the creators have ironed the issues out, they should be resolved. But there is another thing that loyal fans of the first game are a little annoyed about: the price. The first chapter was available on Steam for $4.99, but with the release of the second chapter, the first installment is now free. So what's the problem, you might ask? Well, fans who bought the first game and have been loyal to the franchise by also purchasing the second feel as though they have been ripped off by supporting the first game from the off. Add to this the release of Poppy Playtime NFTs, which means the game's loyal fanbase are beginning to feel a little bit used. Poppy Playtime 2's price point wasn't safe from criticism either. The game was initially planned as a Kickstarter project, with the developers saying the game is planned to have multiple chapters. Each chapter will be released separately and is planned to cost $4.99. Some fans have expressed dismay and have called the developer out for seemingly going back on their word, but the company never really made any promises to the fans. However, given the so far negative reviews of the game, they cannot really afford any more mishaps, as fans sound as though they are losing patience, and fast. What have you made of the price point? Let us know in the comments. Next up, news of Poppy Playtime 3. Given the fact that the second installment has faced so much criticism, you would think the company would be focusing on fixing the issues with that, but apparently the third game has been given the green light. Fans have, of course, become slightly disillusioned with the second game, given the above, but a third game might signal an opportunity for the company to win back any doubters. They will, of course, have to fix the bugs in Poppy Playtime 2 before any of that happens. As of yet, there is no specific release date for the third installment, but it is expected to drop sometime in 2023. However, some fans have pointed to the planned involvement of MOB Games in a movie release of Poppy Playtime and warned others to expect delays. Of course, Chapter 3 and any subsequent Poppy Playtime releases will be made available for direct download, and as soon as we know more in regards to a confirmed release date, you will be the first to know. Will you guys be rocking Poppy Playtime 3 when it drops? Let us know below. So what do we know about a potential movie? Stay tuned to find out. As we know, MOB Games are set to team up with Studio 71 to develop a movie based on their popular Poppy Playtime game. Apparently, the two companies are hoping the movie will be the first of a franchise, which could potentially be a money spinner for both. The first game was released last year, which sees a former employee of a toy company return to his old place of work, which is now abandoned. His visit is prompted by a mysterious message he receives on an old VHS tape to try and get to the bottom of what happened to the staff who were previously employed there after they all disappeared 10 years before the events of the game. The player must move forward through the factory by solving puzzles and trying to discover what happened, all whilst dodging some pretty scary enemies. Of course, the second game has since dropped and the third is in production, which suggests that there could be a whole trilogy of movies, should the first be a success. It is thought Studio 71 wants to get this one out as soon as possible to capitalize on the first game's success, and it is also thought the two companies are in talks talks with Roy Lee, who worked on It and the Lego Movie, to produce the film. And Zach Bellinger, who serves as MLB Games CEO, has recently spoken of his shock at how popular the first game was. Would you go to watch this one? Next up, we're talking about God of War Ragnarok. Stay with us. If recent rumors are to be believed, God of War Ragnarok could be with us as early as this summer, with one leaked source suggesting the specific date will be released at the Summer Games Fest later on this week. The leaker in question, Millie Armand, who has gotten several release dates right in the past, published a cryptic tweet at Summer Games Fest, which featured a GIF along with the words, "We're overdue for a date," as well as an axe emoji. This all sent fans of the original God of War game into a bit of a frenzy, as the tweet appears to suggest the team behind Ragnarok could be set for a pretty big announcement later this week. And PlayStation have previous in this regard. Last year, Guerrilla announced the release date for Horizon Forbidden West, which would be dropping in February of this year at Gamescom. All this means that we could easily see an announcement sooner rather than later for Ragnarok, and we cannot wait. Will you guys be playing this one when it drops? Some good news for the UK's gaming sector now. Stick around. In what is a piece of good news, given the state of the UK's economy at the moment, it has been revealed that the number of indie game developers has increased by around 50%. As you are probably aware, the UK is a huge market in the world of gaming, but has often lacked in actually developing games. But apparently that is all changing, with the pandemic having a strangely positive effect on the industry. It seems as though being locked away for hours every day actually benefited one sector at least. Of course, gone are the days when developers reveal their origin country, but it has been a long time since British companies have been legitimate players. However, it now seems as though they're making a comeback. A lot of people were just content at playing games during the godforsaken pandemic, but some people actually decided to develop their own games, which is great to see. Apparently, there were somewhere in the region of 550 new studios founded between April 2020 and December 2021, which is a massive increase, whatever way you look at it. And finally, a new monitor from Samsung. Korean giants Samsung have announced this week that they are releasing the 2022 Odyssey G85NB, G75NB, and G40B gaming monitor lineup, which is set to deliver some of the most immersive and realistic gaming experiences yet. The company's executive vice president of visual display business, Hae-sung Ha, said Samsung is excited to unveil the world's fastest 4K gaming monitor to unlock even more opportunities and deliver innovation to the market, creating a new and incredibly immersive experience, before going on to say that the Odyssey will give gamers that immersive experience they so crave. Will you guys be purchasing one of the Odyssey monitors? Let us know your thoughts below. As always, thanks for dropping in today, and remember to join us again next time for some more fun and games. And why not do us a solid by liking and sharing today's video, whilst also subscribing to our channel so not to miss out on more great content in the future.